Hate to burst your bubble, but it ain't an alien spacecraft. Sorry about that. Just the way things go. We'll tell you why coming up. Exactly why some people should not be allowed to have children. We also have that story in an incredible piece of moronic, stupid video from some mom who shouldn't be a mom. More. And do not try and get away from the law if you live in the Florida Keys. Yes, Anita, we saw your post, and we're going to do that tonight, this morning. Oh, man. This is just, on the dumb criminals list, this guy ranks way up there. Yeah, I'll tell you why coming up. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. We're live on Rumble and we're live on X, and we thank you for popping in, including Marilyn, who says good morning, praise the Lord, and be blessed. As always, right back at you. And Danny, good morning. Is it bedtime yet? Almost for me. Potty training a baby is more work than a puppy. Cleaning up pee all morning. Oh my God. Well, thank you for sharing. Oh man. You know what? I'm not going to touch that. We'll just leave that be where it is. Oh man. We got all that and more coming up this morning. Thank you for popping by. If you haven't done it yet, hit please that follow button and the like, the thumbs up. That also helps. Let the algorithm know we're here. Let other people know we're out there. We are live. We're also a podcast on all the podcast platforms, Spotify and Apple iTunes, of course, and usually some of the smaller ones out there too. We hit those too. We broadcast to all of them, our audio portion. And finally, YouTube. We stopped going live on YouTube a long time ago when they got as screwed up as they became and as controlling and, not a big fan of free speech at YouTube, of course. And so what we do is we take a recorded version of the show and we pop that up on our YouTube channel. So go on over there. I don't care if you watch the show or not. If you want to watch it on YouTube, go ahead. It's the same show. It's just recorded. And you can see it there. Just search when you're on YouTube in the search bar, put in The Jay Sheldon Show, and it will pop up and away you go. Hit the subscribe button. So now, all of that business out of the way, and it is time to tell you why no, I'm very sorry to hear this. And in fact, probably I'm sorrier than you are. But the 3i Atlas spaceship ain't aliens, okay? It seems like every day, almost, our social media feeds light up with some claim that the interstellar object 3i Atlas may be an alien craft. Ooh. Well, ever since it first got discovered in early July of this year, this icy visitor from deep space has become a full-blown celestial celebrity, to coin a phrase. Media outlets who are dying for clicks seized on this moment, pushed out all these incredibly crazy conspiracy theories, drew attention to themselves, of course, and ad revenue, not to mention. But according to a report from Popular Science, not my favorite magazine because of their take on 9/11, which is complete BS, but the hype is nothing more than pure manipulation. You are being played, folks. On October 30th, 3i Atlas made its closest pass to the sun yet, giving 3 spacecraft a very rare chance to capture very detailed observations about this mysterious traveler. And this quote from the article, early examinations note the comet's gas coma, the cloud of sublimated debris formed as it passed near a star, experienced a rapid brightening compared to previous observed comets at a similar distance from the sun. While earlier observations, this is important, indicated 3i Atlas appeared red in color, Additional analysis has led astronomers to note that the preprint study, it is actually distinctly bluer than the sun. Again, this is the article, so it gets a little wonky, but it says multiple outlets asserted our interstellar visitor had suddenly and perhaps inexplicably changed in appearance. Meanwhile, the internet has done what it does best: generate a huge amount of misinformation about the comet's true extraterrestrial identity. According to study co-author Qijing Zhang at Arizona's Lowell University, the conspiracies aren't worth your time. How about that? Now, this Zhang guy, he said he's far more irritated by people spreading unproven ideas than by conspiracies themselves. His target, Avi Loeb, who is a Harvard astronomer who has done his level best to try and push it out there that it could be an alien spaceship. Well, Avi, sorry, you are wrong. He's got a long history of hyping unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, and their theories. Loeb's gone so far as to suggest that the comet's strange coloration could be evidence of alien tech. That's my alien voice. He claims, this claim Zhang clearly finds frustrating and completely unfounded. He says, I think my main source of annoyance, though it's just that so much of it's been propagated by somebody with a background in science who should know better, a large fraction of the misinformation we've seen floating around can be directly traced back to him, Avi Loeb, misinterpreting or not fully reading the papers or data that he comments on. Or maybe purposefully leaving it out so he's got a better story and gets more clicks. 3I Atlas only changed color as its coma brightened near the sun, and the shift was not dramatic. Zhang said the brightening began in early September. Hobbyist astronomers already had snapped photos showing a bluish-green gas coma. So, as opposed to all these conspiracy theories and Avi Loeb's little theories, the government did not stage a shutdown to hide extraterrestrial visitors. That wasn't why, folks. Or block the release of images of the spacecraft. Not that that's what it is, but, you know. That was all Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats, thank you very much. We all know that now. Trying to strong-arm Republicans and rally their base before the elections. NASA has yet to release any additional photos because of limited operations during the government shutdown. But there's still a chance they will reveal images taken by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter October 3rd. And even more glimpses of the comet are sure going to ramp up the 3I Atlas reaches its closest approach to the Earth, which will happen, it's not yet happened, it will happen on December 19th. It will soar past us at a distance of a mere 167 million miles away. Yeah. One more optimistic note, according to Mr. Zhang. I do hope more people will begin to see how the anomalies of this comet are just among the weird things that comets do. That's just what comets do. Perhaps driving more interest to understand them better, Zhang said. Well, Mr. Zhang, I'm sorry, but I really, really doubt it. But there it is, direct from Mr. Zhang, who once again his credentials are, where is he? Where did we, He is Arizona's Lowell Observatory, some doctor of astronomy or something over there. But anyway, that is the final word. So for those of you who had, we even did the countdown thing over here. Remember that? Do we still have it? No, we don't. I got rid of it. Thank God. But yeah, it's absurd. It does not. It is not alien. It is not an alien spacecraft. I don't care what Avi Loeb has to say. I don't care what your little favorite conspiracy theories are. It's a comet. Nothing more, nothing less. Comets, as Mr. Zhang said, do weird stuff. And that's what we're seeing. So, hate to burst your bubble, but there you go. Man. All right. Up next, a little short piece of video that if it upsets you as much as it upset me, you better sit down. And we're going to tell you about it in a minute, right after we tell you about what's in the bottom of this cup. And that, oh man, that's good. It's Blackout coffee. Oh, yeah, Blackout coffee, folks. Absolutely the best coffee on the planet. They are a supporter of everything that's good in America. They support the First and Second Amendment, the right to life, our first responders. In fact, if you go to the site, you can donate coffee to our troops, which is a fantastic deal. They have donated thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to the causes you and I believe in, which is a big reason to support this company. Another big reason is they just have the best coffee on the planet. And now, if you haven't ordered in the past because they only have roasted beans, not anymore. On most of their most popular blends, roasts, you can order them ground, already ground, delivered right to your doorstep. All you got to do is head over to the link in our show notes. Use that link to get to Blackout coffee. Put in an order for a single bag. Find your favorite roast. By the way, they only roast your beans after you order. That's how you know it's fresh. Ship them out within 48 hours max. Fresh beans or ground right at your doorstep. So please do head over there, use the link in our show notes, and check out Blackout coffee. While you're there, if you are a first-time customer, you use the code J20 for 20% off your first order. 20% off your first order at Blackout Coffee. Use the link in our show notes. Get yourself a bag. Give it a try. I promise you'll be back for more, like so many of our viewers and listeners do, because it's just that good. Blackout Coffee. Oh, man. I live on this stuff. Flavored coffees, pods, instant, cold brew. They got it all. Check it out. Danny says, this is a little off topic, but were you guys able to see the Northern Lights last night? Not sure in your area, Jay, but another chance to see them tonight, and they were beautiful. The quick answer is no. I live very close to the equator, which is why it's always hot here, always. And we have two seasons, rainy and not rainy. But because I'm so close to the equator, there is absolutely no chance at all I would ever get the chance, sadly, to see the Northern Lights. However, because I'm the oldest of a family of 5, my brother and sisters, it's me, Jay, then Kathy, Bonnie, Penny, and Michael. And they are scattered all over the U.S. And my sister, Penny, lives in Colorado, and she posted pictures on her Facebook of the Northern Lights she was able to see. Oh my God. Absolutely beautiful. If you have a chance and you're in the right spots in the U.S., please do yourself a favor. They're going to be, according to Danny, they're going to be available to see them again tonight. It is a amazing experience. You've got to check it out. Connecticut, Maryland, you should be able to. I'm not sure, but it's just according to the pictures. I personally have never ever in my life seen them. I probably won't, but man, the pictures my sister posted. Penny Sheldon is her name. You want to look her up on Facebook. She's got. I don't know if she's a public posted them publicly or not. Probably. But man, they are amazing, and from everything I've heard, people really have had an experience with these things. Incredible. All right, the idiots that should not be allowed to breed, should not be allowed to have children. This is absolutely insane. This whole transgender crap. Not figuring out what gender your child is when they're born. Let me give you a little hint. You look in the diaper, and if there's a little thing down there, it's a boy. If not, it's a girl. Okay? Just in case you were a little confused. And apparently, a whole bunch of these idiots are very confused. This is doing nothing but setting these poor kids up for confusion, mental health issues. This is, for all intents, child abuse. These people should not have children. And yet, here we are. Take a look at this absolute insanity. Hang on, let me make sure I got volume. Okay.
The gender reveal won't happen anytime soon.
We did not assign a sex at birth, which means when they were born, they had genitals and we know what they are. We just chose to acknowledge that those genitals don't indicate anything about gender.
Meet Sparrow, a smiling, curious, adorable 11-month-old baby.
Is this a baby?
Your next question might be, is Sparrow a boy or girl?
Can I see Elmo?
The answer? To be determined.
My own mother did not know Sparrow's genitals for the first 3 months, even though she was living with us at the time.
You're doing so good.
Sparrow's parents decided to raise their baby gender neutral, meaning Sparrow will decide gender when older. Even Sparrow's birth certificate says sex unknown.
And yes, in case you didn't notice it, Mom has a nose ring. Look, you do what you want to yourself. You want to look like a pig or a cow with your ring in your nose? That's fine. You do you, okay? But for God's sakes, are you kidding me? How old is this baby? 18 months? They didn't assign a sex at birth, even though they know what the sex is. So they're raising this child gender neutral from birth. You tell me that is not going to screw this kid up? Give me a freaking break. People like this should not be allowed to raise children. This is insane. Do you know the kind of harm you're doing to your children? Do you care? Apparently not. Ridiculous. Absolutely insane. Yet it's all the rage these days, just to satisfy whatever morbid, egotistical bullshit you have in your life. Don't take it out on the children. Leave our children alone. It's been a theme on this show forever. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Child and Family Services needs to get involved in this kind of crap. Mr. Fetterman, or should I say Senator Fetterman, who is a Democrat from Pennsylvania, needs to say goodbye to the Democrat Party and hello, Republicans. Seriously, this man, who I will fully admit, a couple of years ago, I was absolutely making fun of him on this show, talking about how he was absolutely incompetent, incapable, because of all his medical issues. But man, I'm telling you, he just keeps impressing me more and more and more every single day. And he has just told the left exactly where they can shove it. And the radical left is not very happy about this shutdown ending. And they're not afraid to make their objections known about it. That's for damn sure. The View, Sunny Hostin, blasted Senator Fetterman for voting to end the Schumer shutdown. She came out swinging, pointing out that Governor Newsom had called the vote pathetic and a surrender, reminding Fetterman that poll after poll showed Americans blaming Republicans for the shutdown. Obviously, that's not the case, but they, pick and choose their polls they want to talk about. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I had such faith in, criticizing the GOP. Democrats scored big wins the previous week, had the momentum on their side, and then caved. Why? This idiot Hostin on The View, one of the hosts, said, why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? She warned 500,000 Pennsylvanians could see their health care costs skyrocket if Republicans don't negotiate in good faith. And I believe you're wrong, she added pointedly, to Fetterman. Well, Fetterman wasn't having it. He says, first of all, Marjorie Taylor Greene is quite literally the last person in America that I'm going to take advice from. And now if Democrats are celebrating crazy pants like that, well, then that's on them. Senator made it very clear he does not answer to the far left wing of his party. He says, I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor of California, because they're representing very deep blue kinds of populations. He said those politicians represent safe Democratic territory where extreme far left positions play well. But Pennsylvania is different. Not only did Pennsylvania vote for Trump 2024, but longtime Democrat Senator Bob Casey Jr. lost his reelection bid to Republican Dave McCormick. Pennsylvania's shifting red, folks. Like it or not, it's happening. And if Fetterman wants to win re-election in 2028, he's doing a good job. But he cannot do that taking marching orders from Bernie Sanders or AOC. That's for damn sure. Now, naturally, Fetterman reminded the panel of why Democrats lost the election a year ago. The party can't keep ignoring the lessons from that defeat. He said, we cannot return to those kind of things and realize we need to find a way forward. The human cost of the shutdown mattered more to Fetterman than political positioning, which was all it was to most Democrats. He says the reality is 42 million Americans are now not sure where their next meal is coming from. He said federal workers hadn't been paid for 5 weeks. They're drowning in chaos. Workers had to borrow more than $500 million from the credit union just to pay their bills. Now, Hostin tried to interrupt. Fetterman kept going, didn't let her. Made it clear he was representing real people dealing with real consequences. Not playing games to score political points. His defiance on The View reveals exactly the Democrat Party's fundamental problem. While Hostin and her co-hosts cling on to Bernie Sanders' socialist fantasies, California left-wing pipe dreams, millions of Americans are struggling every single day with no paycheck, no food security. But the radical left would rather choose poll numbers, political wins, than waking up and realizing that there is a real human cost to this problem. Well, Fetterman wasn't having it, and good on him. This man is impressing me more and more, like I said, every day. Standing up to these witches, and that's witches with a W because I didn't want to say the B word, okay? Man, a Shevitz. What is going out? That comment may be a bit delayed. The stream froze a bit. I might be behind. No, you're not. You're fine. I got you. We got you covered. It's all right. What else going on here? Where are we? Hang on, I just got to do a couple of clicks. Okay. Oh, yeah. Just when you thought you hated the media enough. Guess what? It's evil, and you shouldn't touch it. Some days, it feels like maybe I ask a little too much of our viewers and listeners, and yet, here I go again, asking you to hate the mainstream media more than you already do. But I got 3 new reasons this morning. So settle in. I'm going to share some of the trifecta of suctitude. How do you like that title? First, take a deep breath. Set down your blackout coffee. Take any prescribed blood pressure medications you may be on. Just in time for Veterans Day, this little gem from Newsweek senior defense reporter Ellie Cook. Memorial to Black U.S. soldiers who died in World War II, quietly removed. Now, before we get to the fake news, please know that Cook appears to be an exact fit for 27-year-old and literally knows absolutely nothing. Either that or she and her work are both AI generated, and I'm starting to believe that might be the case. I really wouldn't know which way to bet. The White House, under President Trump, has cracked down on programs aimed at diversity and inclusion, an attitude echoed by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in his reshaping of the Pentagon and the military. Cook said the clear implication is that Trump and Hegseth want to erase black soldiers from history. And here's what the libs of TikTok noticed. If you're not following that account, you're missing out. Only when you scroll all the way down do they admit that it actually works on a rotation, and a panel which happens to feature a black serviceman member was simply rotated. Worse, the addition seems to be part of an obscure correction that still didn't admit to Cook's false narrative. That sound you're hearing, folks, that is my seething, leaking out all across the interweb. And you still don't hate them enough. Believe it or not. So let's move from sloppy narrative to active collaboration with terrorists. Here's today's second item. From the Israel War Room, breaking. Reuters has withdrawn the Hamas propaganda piece, claiming 200 Hamas terrorists hiding in tunnels under the Rafah are trapped civilians. Reuters owes the public an explanation for pushing the terrorist propaganda under the guise of journalism. There must be accountability. And Reuters said, story headlined, Turkey seeks safe passage for 200 civilians trapped in Gaza tunnels, official says is withdrawn after post-publication review. The Israel War Room posts, there are no civilians trapped in Gaza tunnels. Those tunnels were only ever built to protect terrorists. There are Hamas terrorists hiding out in tunnels who continue to attack IDF troops and refuse to surrender. Hamas knows this, and Reuters News knows this. And Israel War Room added Reuters owes the public an explanation for pushing terrorist propaganda. There will be no accountability. Reuters Middle East services, just like the UN's, are completely corrupted from the inside by Islamists. Reuters hires local stringer who wear these journalist vests under the proverbial skin suit. But this organization seems perfectly happy to publish whatever propaganda they write. Some days, like today, they get called out on it. But it ain't nearly enough. And then, sweet Jeebus, here we go again. Jake Tapper. Yes, he's back, spreading fake news like grape jelly on Wonder Bread. This is his post on X from Jake Tapper, the moron. Trump gives a full, complete, and unconditional pardon for fake electors, including his co-defendants charged in Georgia for trying to subvert his 2020 election defeat. Never mind the Federalist Sean Fleetwood reporting back in the summer of 2024 that fake electors smear was a completely debunked conspiracy theory. Alternative electors go back to the 1960 election dispute between Nixon and Kennedy over Hawaii's votes. Margot Cleveland did the original reporting on this more than 2 years ago. So Tapper has absolutely no excuse for his moronic posts. Contingent Republican electors named consistent with legal precedent to preserve the still ongoing legal challenges to the validity of Georgia's certified vote. But no matter. As Tapper well knows, the mainstream media is not going to report anything factually. Their job is to establish narratives, fester in the public conscience, crowd out the reality of the situation or any critical thinking. What ties these three things together is not just bias. It's rot, absolute rot to the core. Institutions that once prided themselves on their fact-checking, their independence, are now doing nothing but pushing ignorance and ideology. That's their job now, apparently. If you've ever seen the Terry Gilliam movie Time Bandits, great film. There's a moment at the end, not the short-lived TV series reboot, but the actual film, where the young Kevin warns his parents not to touch a smoldering chunk of the villain's remains. Remember that? It's evil. Don't touch it. And then his parents do touch the evil, and they instantly explode. Well, that is exactly how I feel about the mainstream media these days. The difference between real life and Time Bandits, aside from the absence of Sean Connery and David Warner, of course, things would be so much better if just one touch of mainstream media would make people explode. You'd very quickly learn to leave that stuff alone. Don't touch it. It's evil. Instead of exploding on contact, press acts like a slow-moving poison. Gets in you. You don't die right away. It just rots your brain one little synapse at a time. Fake news, false narratives, and the occasional outright lie. Don't touch it. It's evil. How about that? What you're right, Marilyn. I don't get it either. What is going on with MTG, Tucker, and Candace Owens? Marjorie Taylor, I don't understand. She's got to have some kind of, I don't know, some sort of behind the scenes plan or something. She's not a stupid woman, and she's done so well in the past. And suddenly this, I don't know, things are changing. Tucker is Tucker. I keep running hot and cold on Tucker. I like him a lot. I watch his show, the Tucker Carlson Network. I enjoy his interviews and his stuff. But then again, every now and then he comes out with this whack job kind of what? I don't know. And as far as Candace goes, again, same as Tucker. I'm running hot and cold on this one. I applaud her ability to call a spade and to call things out she truly in her heart of hearts believes. But there are times she seems to really go whack job, nut job. No. But yeah, things are odd in that kind of the social media people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is, of course, also in Congress. But Tucker and Candace, I don't know, like I said, I've been running hot and cold on those guys because they've been running hot and cold for quite a while. So see what happens. All right. Who in the hell let China buy a trailer park in this spot? You ain't gonna believe this one. The lying, the evil, touch it, you might explode. Sounds like my ex-husband. That's some Danny. So, here's the deal. A Chinese fraudster connected to the Communist Intelligence Services has wandered in from Canada to the U.S. And guess what he bought? He bought a trailer park. And guess where that trailer park is? Well, it shares a fence. Yeah, it shares a fence with a stealth bomber base in Missouri. No, I unfortunately am not kidding. It is not the opening line of some odd joke. It is an absolute fact. Whitman Air Force Base, home to our little tiny fleet of B-2 bombers, and yet an RV park 1 mile away is one of several properties near the U.S. military interests that have been acquired by a web of shell companies. And those are ultimately owned by a couple who live in Canada and belong to organizations which are controlled by the disgraced Chinese tycoon and self-described former CCP intelligence affiliate, Miles Guo. According to a bombshell Daily Caller report, that is a fact. 1 mile away, shares a fence with this base. Now, we need to go a little bit deeper into something the DC's excellent investigative reporter only touched on in his story. But first, you need to know a little bit more about the old B-2 spirit, so you understand exactly what kind of stakes are involved in this mess. Now, not only is the B-2 still the world's only nuclear-capable stealth bomber after more than 30 years, it is the most capable conventional bomber ever flown. Ever. Any doubters forever silenced by the B-2's and its crew's performance against the Iran nuclear program. You saw that with these bunker buster bombs from half a world away. But we only built 21 of them. That's it. There's only 21 in existence. The Spirit of Kansas crashed in 2008. 2022, the fleet reduced again after the Spirit of Hawaii crashed. Spirit of Georgia remains under repair following a landing gear collapse in 2021. So at the moment, we only have operating 18 Spirits, 18 B-2s, and getting as many as a dozen of them in the air at once is a challenge. It's also something we can't repeat with any frequency because the Spirits are hangar queens. They require about 120 hours of maintenance for every hour they spend in the air. Yeah, it isn't their fault. That is the best we could do with the technology that was 1980s cutting edge. If we followed our Cold War plan to build and maintain 132 Spirits, I firmly believe both Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin would be a lot better behaved today. Instead of a fit of Cold War victory fever, Congress stopped production at 21. That's it. That's all they allowed them to build. And worse, the Air Force didn't even get serious about developing a replacement, the B-21 Raider, until 2011. That Raider appears to be coming along nicely, but the first production units not going to be available until maybe 2030. That's 5 years from now. The Raider appears to be coming along, but it ain't fast enough. And this deterrence posture absolutely sucks. There is a major war in Europe for the first time in 80 years, another one brewing in the Pacific. Now, back to this Daily Caller report. The trailer park would hypothetically give Xi Jinping a range of options to wreak havoc. For example, certain spy tools can connect to the local grid and absolutely fry systems at Whiteman Air Force Base. It might also house signal intelligence equipment like Stingray to catch cell phone data of people on the base. They're only a mile away, folks. Target them maybe for later recruitment. Don't tell me that hasn't happened before. You can also hide attack drones on the property. Oh yeah. Missiles in nearby storage units. I know this sounds a bit sky is falling, but it absolutely could happen. Otherwise, benign-looking shipping containers. Same thing we've seen in the war in Ukraine with Russia. Just last June, Ukraine launched Operation Spiderweb against Russia's strategic bomber force. They spent 18 months smuggling small, inexpensive drones into Russia, and once they put them all together, assembled them, the drones hidden inside wooden launch containers, hauled in by civilian-looking trucks, parked near 5 strategic bomber bases spread across Russia. On the go order, 120 drones emerged from their secret compartments and, guided by the first-person video remote control, delivered their explosive payloads to Russia's nuclear-capable fleet of Tu-95, Tu-22M3s, and their Tu-160 bombers. Roughly a third of Russia's bombers destroyed or damaged in that attack, using pretty much commercially available drones. Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri is home to our entire fleet of B-2 bombers. They're all there. And a mile away are the Chinese-owned little farm. Imagine that same target that I could just describe to you that the Ukraine pulled on Russia, only this time we're the target. If the Air Force and Space Force are not scribbling notes about this, they're going to get caught with their pants down. Russia learned the hard way. Trailers these days loaded up with almost anything. And nobody takes any notice of the comings and goings of a couple of trailers Yet when the doors open up and 120 drones with explosives attached fly out, at that point, folks, it's a little too late. So yes, there is a war brewing in the Pacific, but that's only half the story. If, God forbid, war should come, it's going to be partly fought on American soil. Chinese drones taking off from locations just like this trailer park, sitting squat damn in the middle of Missouri, right next to our fleet of B-bombers. Pay attention. It isn't going to be good. What a knucklehead. In the knucklehead department, this guy gets the Chief Knucklehead Award. You may remember him. He went viral for interrupting Trump's speech. Well, now he's facing a little bit of a reckoning. A former Democratic Virginia state lawmaker who has been most famous or infamous for interrupting President Trump has now been convicted of defrauding the COVID-19 relief program. Ibrahim Samira previously served as Virginia state delegate, defrauded the Paycheck Protection Program after he fell into debt. In the early days of the pandemic, or the plandemic, Ibrahim Samira, then a Virginia state delegate, found himself deeply in debt and scrambling to save his fledgling dental practice in Fairfax County. An $83,000 Paycheck Protection Program loan, supposed to be a lifeline for this state lawmaker, the way it was for millions of others across the country. Commerce grinding to a halt thanks to the pandemic and all the shutdowns, which were completely unnecessary. Samira was most known for interrupting a speech delivered by Trump back in 2019. Do we have the? Yes, we do. Let's just play a little clippy-poo of this moron interrupting the president.
Right here in Virginia, your predecessors.
There's the moron there. All right, that's enough of that knucklehead. Idiot. Anyway, back in 2020 in May, he applied for a PPP loan, falsely claimed his dental office had 4 employees, inflated the monthly payroll for those 4 fake employees, and federal prosecutors found out he lied on the application about the number of employees he had, and he got an $83,300 loan for them. They didn't exist. That was more than what his business was eligible for. He had no employees. So after he got the funds, former lawmaker funneled them, somehow they made their way into his personal account. Gee, what a surprise. He withdrew the money from the account that was supposedly meant for his employees and deposited into his own personal account. The SBA forgave the loan, but later caught and convicted of wire fraud. Bye-bye. I did say former politician, right? Yeah. A former politician. I lived for 5 years working for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office in the Florida Keys. You know what? Let me just map of Florida Keys. I'm doing this live, okay? So let me see if I can pull this thing up here. Can we, okay. I can't really get you a big, huge picture, but I think this will probably do, okay? You see that? This is the tip of Florida in green with that little bit of orange there. And all of these things all the way down here are what's called the Florida Keys. Keys basically means island. The last one down is Key West, which, by the way, just so you can figure it out on a map, is about 90 miles north of Cuba. Okay. Now, you see this line that goes through here? Big Pine Key. All the way up. You know what that is? That is U.S. Route 1. It is the only road in and out of the Keys. There's only one way in and one way out. Now, Key West, which is a very small island, has a bunch of, city streets and things, as does Big Pine, some of the bigger islands. They've got their own little city roads and town roads. But the main road is US 1, and it goes from the Key West, the southernmost point of the U.S., all the way up to the mainland in Florida. One way in, one way out. That's it. So, one of our all-time favorite ex-posters, and actually a fan of this show, Anita McGroin, said, if you get pulled over in the Keys, don't flee. We have one road. Where are you going to go? There are spike strips about every so many miles on US 1, and all they have to know is which way you're going. Are you going north or are you going south? Because that's your choices. This guy's arrest, she writes, is hilarious because he got a DUI and multiple charges for this. His family, get this, has a foundation in D.C., Washington, that fights drug use and alcoholism. He is now charged with a DUI and multiple charges. He led police in the Keys on a chase and wound up with a huge slew of criminal charges. Now, just so you can appreciate it, let me just for shits and grins, I'll show you his picture. There is the rocket scientist who I didn't know that there's one road in and out of the Keys, US Route 1, and you have two choices. You can go north or you can go south. We will catch you. Unbelievable. So, if you're going to have a crime in the Florida Keys, it would probably be best just don't do it, okay? You will get caught. Idiot. Oh, man. All right. I think, have we got, yeah, we do. Where are we? Okay. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I got a great story to wrap things up with. This will warm your heart, I promise. A police officer has become a real-life hero, and I absolutely love these stories. He was responding to a car fire. It's actually a truck fire, or a SUV fire. And he found Hank the dog was trapped inside the car, which was on fire. He was curled up in the back seat, trying to hang on to life, trying to survive, Hank the dog. Well, The rest and conclusion of this story is absolutely heartwarming. And I want to share that with you now.
Wait, no, there's a dog in the car. Dog in the car? There's a dog in the car. Oh, wait. Oh my God. Where's it at? Put me in the back. Right here. Right here? Yeah. Hank, come on, man. Hank. Is it unlocked? It's some sort of manual lock. It's right here. Come on. Hank, come on. Come on, buddy. I can't get it. Come on. Come on, Hank. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Oh, listen. Come on. Come on. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Dog's out, nothing else.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely saved that dog's life by his quick action. And if you saw Hank there when he put him down running around in the snow, looks like Hank's going to be just fine. Oh, man. I told you, warm your heart. Warm your heart. Hey, thank you, folks. It's a Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Please, if you wouldn't mind, hit that follow button. Give us a thumbs up. We also are a podcast. You'll find our audio portion of the show on all the podcast platforms, and you will find us on YouTube. It's a recorded show, the same thing you've been seeing here, except that it is a pre-recorded show, which we post up there after we get done with our live show. So, join us again tomorrow. We'll be back again with more fun and frivolity and probably some more idiots in the news. Enjoy your Wednesday.